Okay, welcome to tonight's Carmel Clay Parks Board and Recreation meeting on Tuesday, February 10th at the John Hensel Government Building. Jonathan, will you please take roll?
I will. Andrew Bradford. Present. Jim Garrettson.
Here.
Jen Christunis.
Here.
Kristen Kuka.
Here.
Katie Mueller.
Here.
Josh Orahood.
Present.
Reedy Shukla.
Present.
And Mark Westermeyer.
Thank you. We have a quorum and we'll call this meeting to order at 6:09. Would everyone please rise for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, you already logged in.
Okay, we will proceed and public comments. Eric or Curtis, did you receive any cards?
Madam President, there are no members of the public here this evening.
Okay, so we will proceed with staff reports. Curtis?
Staff reports are included in your park board packets. Sorry. Thanks. I guess my deep voice throws off the microphone. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. I was going to make a few comments, but it might be painful if I do.
Does anyone have any questions for Curtis regarding our staff reports? Okay, none? Okay, we will move on to committee reports. Mark, regarding the Finance Committee?
We did not meet.
Okay, and then do we foresee needing a meeting within March?
Not unless Curtis feels it's appropriate.
I think we're good for now. Thank you, though.
Okay, thank you. And then moving on to minutes.
Madam President, I move that we approve the minutes of the park board meeting on January 13th, 2026.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Katie, a second by Jonathan. Any questions? A motion. Oh, sorry. Motion by Jonathan, second by Katie. Thanks. So sorry. Any questions?
I'll call the votes. Kristen? Reedy?
Yes.
Andrew?
Aye.
Jen?
Aye.
Katie?
Aye.
Jonathan?
Yes.
Josh?
Aye.
Jim? Mark? All members voted aye. Motion carries 11-0. 9-0, excuse me. I added 2.
Thank you. We'll move on to financial reports. Zach, can the treasurer still do the financial reports even virtually? Perfect. Thank you. Mark?
Second.
Thank you. Mark, motion, and Jonathan, second. Any questions for the staff on these?
Madam President, I did want to make a few comments if
Thank you.
I may. Just wanted to note that the end of year financial statement is in your packet. I am extremely pleased to announce that once again, non-reverting funds 108, 109, and 110 all achieved 100% cost recovery, which is the expectation. I want to give kudos to our division directors. They do a phenomenal job of managing their budgets each and every year. And once again, they knocked it out of the park. So again, we're looking ahead and confident and fully expect 2026 to operate in the same manner. But just thought I'd at least throw that out there tonight.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Curtis. Any questions of the board? Comments? Okay. That is a job well done. It is not easy to manage for cost recovery on those refunds, and we do appreciate the hard work that went into that, especially during this budget year. Michael, did you have anything to add?
Nope, nothing to add.
Okay, thank you. Did you want to call the?
Happy to do so. Kristen,
Aye.
Reedy,
Aye.
Andrew,
Aye.
Jen,
Aye.
Katie,
Aye.
Jonathan,
Aye.
Josh,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Mark. Motion carries 9-0.
Thank you. Mark, claims, please.
Second.
So we'll do a motion to Mark and Reedy has a second. Any questions? Okay, Michael?
Kristen,
Aye.
Reedy,
Aye.
Andrew,
Aye.
Jen,
Aye.
Katie,
Aye.
Jonathan,
Aye.
Josh,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Mark. Motion carries 9-0.
Thank you. And then moving on to monetary gifts, grants, partnerships, and sponsorships for January. Eric, please.
So we've had a number of contributions this last month. One being at the end of 2025. So a large one from CTI Services, which was an in-kind donation of materials and labor, valued at $51,003.09. So that was for a shed barn that was being used as a construction. What do you call it? Yeah. So instead of getting a construction trailer for the management team at Burrow Bridge, they ended up purchasing a shed to use during that project, and then so that's basically donating to the department to use storage. Plus some services for moving some gravel or everything. So that was all an in-kind donation. And then our anonymous donor for $100 is the staff appreciation. And then a couple sponsorships, $1,250 from Indiana University for our family nature wall. A donation from in scrap bottle for $520. And AirServe sponsored one of our cabanas, so one of our first cabana sponsorships for this year for $1,500. And that should be it.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion.
I move to accept the monies as received.
Second.
Thank you, Katie and Jonathan. Are there any questions? Okay.
Kristen,
Aye.
Reedy,
Aye.
Andrew,
Aye.
Jen,
Hi.
Katie,
Aye.
Jonathan,
Aye.
Josh,
Aye.
Jim, Mark. Motion carries 9-0.
Thank you. And thanks for the donation of the shed and or barn, and of course everything else that is listed on this list. We appreciate the partnership with our partners in the community for the nature walk and the cabanas and everything like that. That's very awesome. We'd like to see how that shed's going to be used. That'd be really cool. Moving on to new business. Michael, I believe.
Absolutely. The first item for your consideration is Resolution G 2026-001, which is approving an encroachment agreement with Duke Energy. So this is a after effect of the encroachment agreement that we provided to Kite and Buckingham for the development of the corner. When we were doing that and in coordination with Duke Energy, it was discovered that, of course, Duke Energy had an easement for the transmission lines that go through Central Park on the eastern edge next to the Interurban Greenway or trail. What was not in place was a because they control effectively that land, there was never a encroachment agreement back to you or our trail that was within the easement. So as we were going through the various processes of getting agreements with Buckingham and Heights, which have all been formalized with approvals from the park board previously, we do basically identify that this easement with them so that we can build our trail on our property, but within their easement, needed to be in place. So we had our legal counsel work with Duke to come up with this agreement. We're comfortable with the language as presented. Our attorneys give a favorable recommendation as well, and I recommend approval. Happy to address any questions the park board may have.
Mr. Garrettson?
Second.
Thanks, Reedy. Are there any questions about this? Nope.
Call the vote. Krista?
Aye.
Reedy? Andrew? Aye. Jen?
Aye.
Katie?
Aye.
Jonathan? Aye. Josh? Jim? Mark? Motion carries 9-0.
Well, thank you for that. And then we have one more piece of new business, I believe. Michael?
Yes, Madam President. Next item is consideration of Resolution G 2026-002, which would approve a master management agreement between the Park Board and the City of Carmel. As you are likely aware, we have management agreements for a number of properties, parks that are actually the property is owned by the City of Carmel, but we have a management agreement with them for us to basically control the land and use them as parks. What we have been striving to do, working with legal counsel and also working with the Office of Corporation Counsel for the City of Carmel, is basically consolidate all of those agreements into one single agreement. Effectively, they're all the same, but there's a separate one for each property. And from an administrative standpoint, or cleanliness, we would like to have effectively one agreement that all the properties are listed underneath, as well as any particular exceptions, variances between those properties. So again, working with our legal counsel and with the city's Office of Corporation Counsel, we were able to formulate this master agreement. Again, it's effectively the exact same language that's in each of those individual language agreements, but consolidates it in one place. What's also great is as we bring on additional properties, we'll be able to amend the agreement and just add it to this. So again, we're not having all these separate agreements for the parks. We have one single agreement. Doesn't change any of the obligations. We're responsible for management of it. The operating expenses associated with those parks are subject to and required to come through the general fund, which is funded by the City of Carmel, and the appropriation by the City Council. Same thing for any capital repairs and replacements. The city is effectively on the hook for those. If they do not provide us the funding that we need to be able to do that capital repairs and replacement, or one of our other funding partners, we don't have any obligation to spend money we don't have. So all the same protections we had before, but cleans up and has it all in one document. There are actually 8 parks that are currently underneath it: Founders Park, Greyhound Trail, Higginburg Trail, Hazel Landing Park, which also incorporates 2 additional additions that we added to the park, which we refer to as the Blue Woods Creek property, which is actually where the bridge is sitting on, and goes all the way to the solar field that is a little bit further south on Hazeldale Parkway, as well as the Norton Beach property, which is right off of 116th Street. That's all managed together as Hazel Landing Park. The new the new to us Japanese Garden, the Monon Greenway, the new West 136th Street property, which was a donation from the Carmel Dads Club to the City of Carmel that the mayor would like to see managed as a nature preserve. So minimal expense to that. And one item that actually was inadvertently left off of Exhibit A. So I will give a recommended motion for you. But Prairie Meadow Park is also city-owned property. So we'll want to, in your approval of this resolution, ensure that you identify in the motion, including Prairie Meadow Park. In the future, other properties that we will be adding to this master agreement as they come online, the Autumn and Veterans Greenway within the central portion of the community. Likely Veterans Park, it hasn't been determined if that property is going to be donated to the city, Carmel, or to the park board. From an administrative standpoint, it really doesn't matter because we treat it exactly the same. So depending on how that's donated, if it goes to the city, it'll go under the management agreement. And then there will be portions of the White River Greenway North extension that's actually within the right of way along River Road. We will want to incorporate those into this management agreement as well. With that, the recommended motion is to approve Resolution G 2026-002, including the addition of Prairie Meadow Park into the documents. With that, I'd be happy to address any questions the board may have.
Are there any questions for Michael? Okay, seeing none, I will take a motion, please.
A motion to adopt G 2026-002 with the recommendation to include the addition of Prairie Meadow Parks into the agreement.
Second.
Thank you, Andrew and Katie. Last chance for questions. And Michael.
I'll call the votes. Kristen,
Aye.
Reedy,
Aye.
Andrew,
Aye.
Jen,
Aye.
Katie,
Aye.
Jonathan,
Aye.
Josh,
Aye.
Jim, Mark. Motion carries 9-0.
Perfect. Thank you. That is the last item I have under new business. Old business, Michael, I don't see any items.
Pleased to report no old business to bring before the park board tonight.
Fantastic. Thank you. Attorney's report, Zach.
Just two brief items. We worked to complete the encroachment agreement with Duke that you all just approved. And we're currently working on a contract with Thieneman for the Bear Creek BOD project. Happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Zach. Any of the board members have any questions or anything for Zach? Zach, as always, we appreciate your partnership with the park board and our people at your table.
Feelings mutual.
Thank you. Director's report, Michael.
A couple items I wanted to just get on your radar. First of all, I did send out an email with the right after the board packets went out. We are interested in holding a board workshop on Tuesday, March 24th at 6 p.m. That's the fourth Tuesday of March. Basically, we, and working with the president, we'd like to just have an opportunity in a little bit more informal setting to discuss some of the projects that we have going on. The legislative session will be over, so we'll be able to report what impacts that may have on funding as well as the park board and department. And we can also just address questions that the park board members have. Obviously, many of the members are 2 years or less, so we're still in a very formative stage. So we want to make sure that there's those opportunities to have that dialogue. So validate for me. You don't have to tonight, but if you would just send me a reply to your the email saying yes or no if you're available on the 24th. We'll determine exactly the location, whether it's here or it might be hosted at the administrative offices off 116th Street. It will be a public meeting, but it's not one that we would have televised. Just so it's more of a training opportunity, but as a protocol, we've always kept those open to the public. The other date that we'd like on your calendar, not something that you're required to attend, but more than welcome to, on February 24th at 11 a.m. at the Monarch Community Center Gymnasium. We will be having two banner unveilings. One is for reaccreditation of the our camp program, the summer camp series through the American Camp Association, a new 5-year reaccreditation. So we'll be celebrating that. Additionally, we will be unveiling a new banner for the IPRA, Indiana Park and Recreation Association Outstanding Agency Award that we received last fall from IPRA. So we'll be celebrating that relatively short, sweet, and I think we actually now have the banner unveiling so that they unveil properly. This will be 2 or 3 in a row, maybe. So I think since I became director, they've all worked well. So I'm just saying. So obviously, continuing to monitor activities at the General Assembly. Nothing of particular new note since my last update, other than House Bill 1315, which is the House's version of township effectively elimination for a number of townships. It was approved by the House. It went over to the Senate, and all indications is the Senate will not be giving it a hearing. So that one will effectively die. There's a Senate version, Senate Bill 270, which takes a different approach. It's actually a consolidation of townships. It doesn't eliminate townships, but it has a variety of metrics and a point system. And if you get 4 points or above, it requires any subject township with that type of point to merge with an adjacent township. And based on the current criteria within that law, Clay Township would have 1 point, so would not be subject to consolidation and would obviously not have an impact on us. There was a hearing on that in the House today in the local government committee. They did not take any action on it. They are working through some amendments, so we'll be closely monitoring that, advocating obviously that it stay substantially similar to the how the Senate originally wrote. All indications are that, especially the author from the Senate, does not like 1315, so probably won't be too receptive to amendments, but the House can propose amendments, approve them, and it would still require Senate to sign off on it. So gives me some degree of optimism that we may be able to dodge any particular impacts to Clay Township this legislative session. Not at the end, so I could be coming back and saying, oh, well, but right now things look more optimistic than not. House Bill 1001 also was approved by the House, went to the Senate, and is being considered. It's a priority bill from House leadership. That one has significant impacts on zoning, which I know the city has, as well, pretty much all cities and towns have significant concerns about. As it pertains to parks, the biggest issue was how it could potentially affect park and recreation impact fees. As originally written, it would have required that wherever the impact fee is collected, the development be within 1 mile of the infrastructure that is approved, which means a park would have to literally be 1 mile from every new development for those impact fees to be used, which would be impractical. And fortunately, that language has been subsequently removed from the bill that's currently being considered. There also were 2 other provisions, one for accessory dwelling units. One of my things, I get twisted on my tongue. The ADUs, which are basically like granny flats, it would have waived all impact fees for them. Now, impact fees can be charged for a variety of infrastructure types, including utilities. Carmel has never charged it for anything other than parks. What was changed in it, parks were exempted from the exemption. So impact fees would still be collected as currently being considered for ADUs. However, it would be at 50% the single dwelling unit rate. So obviously 100% would be better than 50%, but 50% is significantly better than no fees. So we're happy with how that's been progressing. I don't think it will go below that 50% threshold. There was a similar exemption for commercial developments that are converted to multifamily. So think a building along Meridian that gets converted to apartments. Those would have also been exempted from all impact fees, and the similar carve out for park and recreation impact fees was amended in so that, again, we'll get at least 50% if adopted as currently being considered impact fees for those conversions. So again, better than nothing. And not that I've seen a lot of those conversions, actually any that I've heard of within Carmel. There's always an opportunity as the Meridian corridor redevelops over the years that could eventually happen. So at least we have some degree of protection with that. There was also 1160, House Bill 1160, which had a number of provisions as far as reporting and requiring additional approvals. Our interpretation, working with legal counsel, is it probably wouldn't have had an impact on us, but it would require a typical park board to have the approval of the executive, which, for a city park board would be the mayor, for a township board would be the trustee, to sign off on any expenditures of $100,000 or more, any contracts, any capital projects. The language was amended so that it's 10% up to a maximum of, basically $500,000 or 10%, whichever is less. So for us, if we would have been required, it would be $500,000. Most of our contracts that are above $500,000 are capital projects. They've already been approved through the budgetary process with our fiscal bodies. So not a concern to me, but like I said, based on our legal interpretation of how it was written, it wouldn't have applied to us anyway, but something that is good for park boards across the state. So we were tracking all of those pretty closely. Nothing else of particular significance that has a huge impact on Parks and Recreation that we've identified, but we'll continue to monitor. We're past the halfway mark, and the General Assembly anticipates adjourning before the end of the month. So happy to address any questions the board may have.
I have one question. You just said House Bill 1160, but in your notes you said 1161.
1161, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to make sure.
Thanks for, you're right, 1161.
Okay, thank you.
Unrelated to those bills, Michael, I'm curious, are you affected at all by Senate Bill 242, which is looking at the changes to the innkeeper's tax and how the city is considering the development of different hotel districts and convention centers? Does that have any?
Not a direct impact. It would certainly provide a new funding mechanism for the city. So any additional funding mechanisms they have for other priorities would hopefully trickle down a little bit so that other existing funding sources can be freed up for other priorities, which would hopefully include parks. But wouldn't necessarily have a direct impact. I know that the mayor is most interested in that legislation as it pertains to a potential future convention facility here.
Great, thanks.
Nice summary, Michael. Does anyone have any other questions or comments regarding the director's report? No? Okay. Thank you. Moving on to information items, Plan Commission. Jonathan.
Yeah, just one update. I was not at last week's committee meeting, but 3 weeks ago, I guess it was, we sent an unfavorable recommendation to the city council for the rezoning of the Illinois Townhome project. So Illinois on 106th Street between Forte and the medical clinic to the south. That was the biggest project that we reviewed in terms of zoning. We also did approve sent a favorable recommendation for expansion of the senior living center on City Center Drive, as well as we approved an ADLS amendment for property just to the east of, is it the Signature on Carmel Drive or on
I think you're right.
on Main Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, just east of the Signature. It's that old, kind of between there and the, not the Legion. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name of it. Anyway, between there and Guilford is a property that's going to be converted into kind of like a restaurant bar speakeasy. So we approved that as an ADLS amendment.
Yes, right next to the Legion.
Legion, yes, thank you. For some reason, that was not coming to me, but those were the two biggest projects.
Thank you. Thanks for that update, Jonathan. And we'll move to school board, and we'd like to welcome Kristen back. Kristen, thank you.
Glad to be back. Nothing to report, but I'm really glad to be back here.
For those of you who don't know, Kristen, do you want to take a minute, introduce yourself, and tell us a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. Kristen Coquet. I was on the board in 23. Yes. Has it already been 3 years ago? I was on the board in 23. This is my 4th year on the school board, so it'll be my 2nd year on the parks board. A little bit about me personally too. I've lived in Carmel for 22 years. Love it here. Love the parks. I have 3 kids, 2 in high school and still an elementary kid. So we frequent Meadowlark Park a lot. And Wilford, some time to come. So the parks are really important to me and we spend a lot of time in them. So I definitely advocated to be back here.
Perfect. Well, we're happy to have you. Thank you. And our favorite Climate Action Advisory Committee, Eric.
Thank you. Yes, we had a meeting a couple weeks ago at the library, actually, kind of our new home for right now, rather than City Hall. So that was great. But we had a guest presenter come who is from IU Indy, and he talked to us about the healthcare industry and how they are one of the leading, as an industry, a leading contributor of carbon footprint. So I'm sure Reedy probably knows a little bit about that. So kind of surprising. It's not surprising when you've been at a hospital for a long time and you see the amount of waste that kind of comes out of a hospital, but the amount of sanitizing that they have to do and all of these things that you have to do to run a hospital, their carbon footprint as an industry is one of the highest out of anybody. And so some of the things that they're working on, working with IU Hospital and some of the other hospitals around to kind of work on hopefully fixing some of that and some of the tactics that different hospitals can take. So kind of an interesting kind of presentation. And since Carmel has a couple hospitals and healthcare facilities around town, kind of good to know. So but that's about it.
Thank you. And then Parks Foundation, Mr. President of the Parks Foundation, Mark.
I don't really have anything to report at this time. What we are looking at is putting together a way to recruit new members to the foundation and create an onboarding process. And then Michael, Hudson, and I are to meet and discuss it relatively, hopefully short time in the future, to create an MOU to better define what the direction of the foundation should be in conjunction with the Parks Department. That's it.
Perfect. Thank you. And that brings us to Park Board comments and discussion. Anyone have any comments or discussion topics? I have one, the workshop. I would like to impress upon everyone the desire that we have for your attendance. We used to do these annually back when I started, and it was a great way to learn about the different funds, the master plan, different questions, different topics. So also I would recommend that when you respond yes or no to if there's any topics that you would like to learn about that you are confused about, to also respond with those to Michael. So if there's anything that we need to go over, give him some ideas of something that you want to cover more in depth, that would be great for him. But if you can, I would highly suggest that you be there. Okay, well, that is all that we have. Anything else from the table in black over there? No? Okay. All right, I will take a motion.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Awesome. We are the motion, or sorry, I don't have a clock. We'll be over at 6:44. Thank you.